the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Turn 3 Racing Network. As tonight, we are here with the OP Racing Premier Series as they bring you the Dega 250. My name is KR Stolfus. I am your host for tonight's festivities, and in the booth with me is none other than Mr. Dawson Wise himself. Dawson, how you doing here tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, KR. Glad to be back. Second race, the first round. I'm excited.
Absolutely. I'm excited to be here too. We don't have anyone locked in just yet, so qualifying very important to these guys is Gabe Butler in the 88 down along the apron. We are here at Talladega, so heads for that start finish line 500 yards past the tri-oval, and Gabe Butler goes to the top of the leaderboard with a 55.63, one of our championship contenders. All of our championship contenders in the top 6 very, very close on qualifying times. So with that being said, guys, we're going to step away for the national anthem. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Turn 3 Racing Network. Thank you very much for joining us here at Talladega for the Dega 250 presented by Butt Kicker. Our drivers are on the grid. That means it is time to go through tonight's starting lineup. And on that pole position with a 55.631, that is the driver of the 88, Gabe Butler from Team Bootnaka Esports. To his outside, his teammate, the 25 of Kevin Freis. Row number 2, Dale Cup games locking out row 2. That is Sebastian Marin in the 23 and Kody Neagles in the 6. Row number 3 going to be Anthony English in the 44 Vicente Guerrero in the 14. Row number 4, Steve Korosec and Richard Sanchez. And row number 5, the 62 of Les Levy and the 33 of Jeff Crosby Jr.
Row 6 going to be David Booth from Checker Flag Motorsports in the 77. To his outside, Peter deBorja, yet another boot knock entry and another playoff driver. Adam Kilday inside of row number 7. To his outside is Jim Maier of Alliance Motorsports. Zach Workman for FSR rolls from 15th with John Guerra in the 59 to his outside. Kacey Gilchrist will make up the inside of row number 9 with Eric Laurie to his outside in 18th. 19th going to be Sean Makara, and round out the top 20 on the outside of row 10, Dave Hunt.
Ooh, give me just a minute here. I had to fix something. Jeff Crosby Sr. in the 15 and David Overstreet in the 68 for row number 11. Row 12, the 47 of Richard Kuhn and the 12 of Zach Fritsch. Row 13 going to be Nate Warren in the 2, last week's race winner, and Brian Wang in the 05. Row 14, Matt Wagner and Sean Stevens. And our final row here tonight, the 04 of Workman, fresh from his vacation in Hawaii. We'll see how he does now that he is well and truly rested. And the 17 of Jimmy Reynolds in that 30th and final starting spot. So Dawson, race number 2 for our championship 16.
Yeah, race 2 of the first round. We have one more week to go after this week, but these guys, we saw last week, they all set the tone, and we've got several guys in pretty dire point situations coming into today, most notably Steve Korosec, 11 points below the line. Our regular season champion, Kody Neagles, only 5 points above the line. They need good nights tonight. Several other guys do. The points are very, very close. This is going to be a make-or-break race for several guys in the field.
All right, we'll take a quick look at our race info as they make their way onto the front stretch. 2 races left in this championship 16. Nobody is locked in yet due to Nate Warren picking up the win last week. No cautions for the stages, and our stages are at lap 25 and lap 50. One fast repair is available to our drivers. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Green flag is out for the first time here tonight. The 88 and the 25 go heading off into turn number 1 side by side.
It's a pretty even start. It's a top 7 all made up of playoff guys off into turn number 1, and teammates really all over the place here in the top 7. You got the 2 Bootnaka teammates on the front row, 4 Dale Cup teammates behind them, including 3 lined up on the outside, led by Kody Neagles, and then Sebastian Marin on the bottom, as well as Anthony English tagging along. There's Richard Sanchez. A great new look on that 510 tonight. He is going to be up in this mix, as well as Jeff Crosby Jr. New leader in 3, Kevin Freis.
Kevin Freis down on the bottom. The 25 cleared the 88, dropped down to the inside. Now the 6 of Kody Neagles leads the second lane as he comes up off the corner. The 25 drifts up a little bit, and it looks like he is going to be split. And now we are 3 wide through the tri-oval here at Talladega. Plenty of room for that. You still have to mind your P's and Q's.
Well, the Dale Cup boys wasting no time to go right to the front of the field. They're telling Kevin Freis, hey, we're not going to wait around for you to make moves like that, trying to get your teammates up in front of me. And Kevin Freis says, I'm going to repay the favor. He's got Jeff Crosby Jr. and his teammate Peter deBorja with him. The Dale Cup boys go higher once again as Butler goes to the middle. I'll tell you what, Neagles, Guerrero, Korosec, no time wasted. They are all it's going to go around off the bumper of his teammate, and they are in the wall and crashing in turn 3.
Yellow flag is out. The 6 of Kody Neagles pointed the wrong direction. Grabs a gear and gets rolling, and that happened down the backstretch between teammates. It looked like Neagles thought about dropping down to the middle lane, then tried to change his mind, and it was just a bit too late.
I'm trying to get a good look at it myself here really quickly from my own angles, and yeah, I think you're right. I think he maybe second-guessed his decision and decided to try to follow the run back up to the top, and by then he was not clear. Kevin Freis had already pushed Guerrero to the outside of the 6, and that is a devastating start for several playoff guys right there.
All right, so yellow flag coming out for the first time very early in this race, and I had topped the blimp. It looks like maybe the 14 got a shock from the wind, maybe, that pulled him down in the 6th. Little awkward there, but who knows? Who knows what they felt at that time? But our first caution is out for the night. Our first caution of the night is out. And so Dawson, our drivers, have are going to be finding themselves on the pit road.
Yeah, very early first pit stop. I'm not sure several of these guys expected it, but it's going to throw a little bit of a wrench into the first stage, which is 25 laps. We won't have a break, but now it throws off the pit strategy a little bit. You still have to make a pit stop, but it's going to be a lot later in the stage than it would have been just a few minutes ago. So let's see how that affects things as everybody's on pit road.
Sebastian Marin leads the field onto pit road, but Gabe Butler, the first one off, and Butler did not stop in his pit box. Neither did the 40 of Peter deBorja. So I do believe maybe we'll see these guys hit pit road next time around. But either way, no one can make it on fuel from here to the end of stage 1.
No, you still can't make it. It's still well outside the range that we've got. You're going to have to still make a pit stop. And for the guys that missed their pit box, yeah, it's a tough break. Just trying to find the sign, I guess. Typically, you'll see guys practice that before the race, finding their sign, finding their pit crew on pit road. And perhaps maybe a group that did not decide to do that tonight, and it cost them big time here on lap 4.
Yeah, you know, I'm not 100% sure that this is a missed pit box. Someone tried to explain the strategy to me of why they do that, and I kind of went cross-eyed because none of it made sense to me. But apparently there's a strategy behind coming down pit road and not hitting your pit box.
Yeah, I've never in my life heard that. I would be interested to know what advantage that gives you.
Listen, they tried to explain it to me. I went cross-eyed. I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm not that smart, okay? There's a reason why I'm up in the booth. Speaking of, Miss Mara is here. How you doing, Miss Mara? Good to see you. I believe that the 88 and the 40 will hit pit road this time and make it into their pit box.
Yeah, they peel off the racetrack, which allows Sebastian Marin to get a lap led. He's going to control the field with 1 to go, and that's obviously a welcome sight for him. He'll have control of the restart.
All right, so Marin goes down and elects to restart down on the bottom lane. Anthony English in the 44 will be on the outside of row number 1. Anthony English in the 44, running a Logan Helton paint scheme because Logan Helton respectfully bowed out of the championship, and because of that, that allowed Anthony English into our points battle. So the 44 said, hey, you know what? I'm gonna run your paint scheme as a thank you, or a repayment for allowing me to be in the championship. So that is why the 44 looks like Logan Helton.
Yeah, it's a cool little tribute for Anthony. That was cool a couple weeks ago when he started doing it. And yeah, we talked about it last week a lot. Best of luck to Logan Helton as he takes on the Contender Series. He's 1 step short of Coke. Man, that would be a huge accomplishment for him. I know we're all rooting for him.
Absolutely, and that's something that Logan Helton has been working on for a couple, 2-3 years now. Probably 3 years. I feel like it's been right around 3 years that he's been working on that, and he gets closer and closer each and every year. So yeah, we're always rooting for you, Logan. All right, with that said, Dawson, Chevy Silverado hitting pit road.
Yep, pace truck going to hit pit road this time. We're going to put him back under green. 20 laps to go in stage number 1. Already a disaster of a start for several playoff drivers that needed a good run tonight. And we'll see how they can rebound. And here we go. Headed into the Geico restart zone. Going to be Sebastian Marin getting the restart. Green flag back in the air. Lap 6 goes on the board. The inside is rolling, headed back for turn 1.
Side by side into turn 1 they go. We have someone cheering for John Guerrero in the 59. How you doing, Tosh? Cash? Tish? I don't know. Let me know how to say your name. That wasn't... I have not seen that combination of letters before in my life. How would you say that, Dawson? T-A-S-H.
I figured, I mean, Tash would be my guess, personally.
Tash. Good guess, I like it. All right, the 23 is Sebastian Marin. Out in front, he has Richard Sanchez in the 510 on his back bumper, but a big wiggle out of Sanchez. Outside lane now is going to have some momentum going into the corner. That line being led by Steve Korosec in the 027. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at our points as they came into tonight's race. You mentioned Kody Neagles, our regular season champion, just 5 points above the cutoff line. John Makara, Jeff Crosby Sr., Gabe Butler, and Steve Korosec below the cut line. And, you know, these guys... no one locked in, so there's only 2 more shots to officially lock yourself in to the next round. Otherwise, you're going to have to point in. And so with everyone fighting for those points, it's going to be interesting stages here tonight.
Oh yeah, and you can tell what the priorities for certain drivers are here tonight. Steve Korosec going right to the front, wasting no time, trying to lead laps, get a bonus point for that, trying to get stage points, and just make his situation a little bit easier. Jeff Crosby Sr., by the way, has also made his way into this battle. He's about 4th in line in the middle, so he is coming towards the front as well. He's 8 points out. Gabe Butler's another guy that really needs to get some points. I don't see him currently, but he was running up front early on in the race. And then Sean Makara, who's in the middle as well. He's starting to make his way to the front. You can tell where the priorities lie. Another huge moment for Richard Sanchez there in turn 4.
Seems like everyone was able to gather that truck back in, or their trucks back in, but holy cow, was that one almost a big one, as that was once again at the front of the field. As we go on board with the 04 Mark Mann. New fast lap of the race by the 25 of Kevin Freis. He has set quick time here tonight for fastest lap of the race at a 50.01.
It's getting dicey up front. The little shuffle allowed the third line to come all the way forward, and Anthony English is going to bring Les Levy with him into the middle. And how about that move out of the top line? Levy goes 1 lane lower, decides he wants the race lead, goes down across the nose of Steve Korosec, and pokes the nose out front of that 62. What I thought was a Busch Light truck, but upon closer inspection, KR, it's actually a Levy truck. So
it's the mountains of Levy.
Cool, that's a pretty cool play on that for Les tonight.
The mountains of Levy are out front here tonight. That 62 into the clean air. We'll see how long he can hold on to it. Everything changes here at Talladega from moment to moment. And the 62 would love nothing more than to lead every lap of this race.
Yeah, but Steve Korosec has other plans. He's got a little bit bigger goal tonight. He's got to get some points. And you can tell the intensity level for Steve tonight is definitely higher than we're used to seeing. And already a very aggressive driver as it is, but tonight he's just he's on a different level. He knows he has to go out and do what you said Les would like to do, and that's lead every lap. If he can help it, he wants to be out in front of a line, any line, wherever he can find it, get stage points, and hopefully for him lock into the next round.
I do want to point out that the 59 of John Guerrero has gone behind the wall, and he pulled behind the wall on lap 7. So John Guerrero already out of this race.
and tough break for him really early on. And not sure what happened there. He did have a faster pair to work with. I'm not sure what the issue was on the 59 truck, but regardless, retiring a little bit early. Third line trying to work back up. Jim Maier, Peter deBorja, Mark Mann in the 0-4. Good to have him back in the field tonight as he's trying to make his presence felt at the front of the field. But right now, all Levy and Korosec up front, although English is looking to change that. He goes up in front of Jim Maier.
Les Levy staying committed to that bottom lane in the 62. Things looking very good for the Mountains of Levy. He does have a championship contender in the 23 pushing on his back bumper. Then the 510 of Richard Sanchez, third truck down on the bottom. Sebastian Marin makes a move up to the middle lane. And our championship contenders are starting to work their way forward as there is starting to be a lot of green up in the first few spots.
And again, I think it comes down to priorities. The guys that are not far above the cut line, up to third in points, is only 14 points above that cut line. Only 25 points separating 14 of the 16 playoff drivers tonight. So not a lot of margin for error, and you can clearly tell with all the green that's on your screen right now, there's not going to be a lot of margin in the stages either. It's going to be who gets the stage win. Sebastian Marin back to the bottom in front of Les Levy, trying to hang Anthony English out. And Jim Maier's going to get a chance for the lead here in clean air up on the top side.
The 95 of Jim Maier in his red-hot paint scheme, trying to strong-arm his way into the top spot in that third lane. I don't know. That top side doesn't quite seem to be working as well as they would like.
Well, it works for a little bit, and then obviously the temperature of the second truck in line starts to get hot, and it fades just a little. But then also you have to consider who the pushers are in the middle lanes, and for the most part on this run, the pushers have been Steve Korosec and Sebastian Marin, two of the best in the business at pushing another truck. So that doesn't help their case either. And obviously this lane swapping up front's allowing the second guy in line to stay cool and be able to push a lot longer than deBorja can up there against the wall.
Anthony English makes a move up to the third lane as Steve Korosec tried to steal his thunder, and English says not today. He is now shuffled up to the high side. We'll see what he can do as the line leader in that third lane.
Not a whole lot right now. Jim Maier trying to get that line back wound up. The middle line, meanwhile, is faded to about 3 trucks as guys just try to start to fade either top side, or most of them have gone down to the yellow line. And you know what we say every week, usually that's in preparation for pit stops, and those are coming here in the next 5 laps.
Yeah, green flag pit stops starting to get close here. So before we start shuffling things up with this green flag pit stop, let's go ahead and take a look at who has scored some of the most points here in the last 3 races. Sebastian Marin in the 23, finding himself out in the front of that bottom line. The 44 of Anthony English leading his line, and those 2 drivers have been our hottest 2 drivers here in the last 3 races. And then Zach Fritsch, Zach Workman, and Kody Neagles right there as well. So these guys all getting very they're point hogs. They're hogging all the points.
Oh, maybe just a little bit. So we've had a big mower a little further back, almost a shuffle back there around Jeff Crosby Sr., Kevin Freis, but they gather it back up. No surprises of those guys. The guys that are hot at the right time. You got the guys that have been hot all year. Kody Neagles, obviously our regular season champion. Sebastian Marin, a multi-time winner. He's always at the front of the field. Same with Anthony English. Felt like he always was having a good run. And then Fritsch and Workman, they just know how to get hot at the right time, and they definitely have come alive when they needed to in the postseason. Workman. Actually, no, Fritsch is ahead of him in points. Fritsch, a 23-point cushion on the cut line. He really has hit his stride at exactly the right time.
We ride on board with Kacey Gilchrist. Kacey finding himself going the wrong direction. He has lost 5 spots from where he qualified from. And, you know, this Kacey Gilchrist we're talking about here. We'll see if he can work his way forward before this is all said and done. I'm sure Kacey is absolutely planning on dropping back in this moment of the race.
It's still very early, still a pit stop to come here at the end of stage 1. Gilchrist, a guy that I think has just got better over the course of the season. We saw him improve every single week, and obviously then was able to get that win with a couple weeks left in the regular season, get his way into the playoffs. Now he's in a pretty good point spot, 12 points above the cut line. He's having a great year, and he's looking to keep the momentum going and continue to get better every single week.
So the 31 pushing on the 71 is Sean Makara. Those two working well down on the bottom line. Right now they do find themselves mid-pack, but hey, a lot of racing to go here tonight. Being mid-pack isn't a big deal right now. It is only lap 18 of 25 for stage number 1. And you talked about green flag pit stops coming up. I think we're going to see them on pit road here within the next 3 or 4 laps. I don't think anyone can make it on fuel from here, but as soon as I say that, someone will. They absolutely will.
I know 3 guys that can't. That's Jimmy Reynolds, Jim Maier, Mark Mann. They're on pit road here on lap number 18, so maybe pit stops coming a little bit sooner than we all anticipate. As those guys are the first to hit pit road, as new leaders up front, Jeff Crosby Jr. and Zach Workman now 1-2, as they lead the field right around that yellow line. Only 4 trucks in the outside line here coming off of 2.
New fast lap of the race, that is Sean Makara. He just turned a 49.868. So Sean Makara really getting after it. He is tucked in tight behind Brian Wang in the 05. Mark Mann, Jim Maier, and Jimmy Reynolds all have dropped the jacks. They are down and away. Here comes the rest of the field onto the front stretch, and we have the next group of drivers peeling off for pit road. Sean Makara getting on to pit road. Very spicy. Kacey Gilchrist into the grass. I don't know how far into the grass he got, but that could be a penalty.
Yeah, we'll have to see it. It probably will be a penalty. I could not tell off the top of my head, or excuse me, from my angle, how far off in the grass he got. I don't think it was very far, but either way, iRacing typically not too nice if you get out there in the grass, even just a few feet.
Yeah, he is still sitting in his stall. That is a good sign of a penalty coming his way.
I think we're going to see the last group, biggest group on pit road this time. Oh, okay, well, maybe I should stop predicting when they're going to pit, because they don't. They bypass pit road, and it's going to be 5 laps to go in the stage. Maybe we'll see them next time, and I'll actually have it right.
So that penalty will put Kacey Gilchrist 1 lap down. One driver who spent a lot of time onto pit road, that is Dave Hunt. Not sure. I think the 53 has extensive damage, and I'm not quite sure where he picked up that damage from. But Dave Hunt down a lap, and Kacey Gilchrist down a lap now as well.
This entire lead pack down around the yellow line, they're all lined up, so we're just waiting on the first group to lean out and go to pit road. Let's see if they do it this time by lap 21, and they do, and it's going to be everyone except for Team Bootnaka, who stays on the racetrack.
Kevin Freis in the 25, Gabe Butler in the 88, Brian Wang in the 05, and the 071 of Eric Laurie all stay out. They all were last on pit road on lap 3 or lap 4. And so they are trying to stretch their fuel. At this point, you just got to be either hoping that you come down pit road and it's empty, or you're stretching your fuel and trying to get to the stage. And with Butler below the cut line coming into tonight's race, I can't see how you want to make this gamble if you don't feel you can absolutely get to the end of the stage.
And they can't. Here comes Team Bootnaka down to pit road on lap 22, so not sure what the call was there, unless, like you said, they just wanted to get on an empty pit road, have a little bit less, a little bit less pressure to make an error and a little bit more space to work with. So let's see if they can cycle out in front of what now is the lead group, led by Sebastian Marin, who's getting into turn 3 right about now.
Yeah, Sebastian Marin into the corner. Nate Warren, long pit stop for him, driver of the number 2. Last week's race winner, sitting on pit road. I think a penalty being served by him. The 31 of of Kacey Gilchrist will go a lap down here. And Gabe Butler, Kevin Freis, and Brian Wang are all going to get passed by our race leader, the 23 of Sebastian Marin.
They are going to blend, I think, with this second group that's back here a little bit further. They are, I believe, going to catch some draft off that group, so they will still maintain some semblance of the lead pack, but they're not going to maintain these top 8, which have broken away from the field by about a second. And they are still continuing to drive away a little bit, so the top 8, serious breakaway up here at the front of the field.
Sebastian Marin in the 23 out in front. As we get closer to the end of the stage, he has won 4 stages this year, leads all drivers in that category. Kevin Freis in the 25, second in the in this stage winning competition with 3 stage wins. So Sebastian Marin now out in front trying to pick up another stage win. Zach Workman in the 19, right down to the inside line. And boy, I'll tell you what, these championship 16, there's a whole lot of need for points right now.
Yeah, there are 5 of them here in this front group going for points. They're about to be 1 through 5 on the racetrack. You could tell just how much that extra point might mean. And Kody Neagles is in this group. He was involved in the first accident, but he is in the first group. And I don't know if it's just on my end, but Sebastian Marin has disappeared for me. I don't know if that's the same for you, but I don't see the 23 on the racetrack anymore.
And this is a very long pause not to be able to see the 23. That is not a good sign for Sebastian Marin, as Brian Wang just turned on the fastest lap of the race at a 49.66. So the 0.5 getting after it, and Sebastian Marin still has not joined this or rejoined. That is a tough break. We'll call that a blown engine for the 23.
Oh man, what a devastating blow it is for him now. Granted, trouble behind the leaders. David Overstreet, Zach Fritsch ran into the outside wall, and stage 1 will end in sparks. Steve Korosec is going to get the stage win as they come down to get the stage checkered flag under the yellow flag here on lap 25.
Does anyone know if Zach Fritsch has a motion rig? If he's got a motion rig, he just face planted into his monitors.
I think we can definitively say roll the ambulances to turns 3 and 4 at virtual Talladega here. Roll everything you got for the 12.
Oh my God, he hit that wall a ton. Steve Korosec does come away with the stage win. All right, let's back this up so we can figure out what happened to the driver of the 12. Going into the corner, the 68 washes up. The 12 tries to get underneath him, and holy cow, did he smacked the wall so hard, body parts actually came off.
Yeah, I thought he may have had it saved on the apron, overcorrects and obliterates the outside wall, and it actually gets hit by Makara. All 4 tires up off the ground. That's one of the harder hits we've seen this season out of Fritsch, and you're right, scattering parts all over the racetrack as guys scramble to get around him.
Just slight contact to 68, tried to throw a block a little bit too late, and the 12 pays the price. Hard impact. And that engine, all that damage, he unfortunately could not coast back to pit road. And so to the flatbed he goes. Fast repair will have to be burned. But now he will end up not on the lead lap. We'll see how far behind he ends up before he starts rolling once again. Either way, Steve Korosec, our stage winner, and he came into this race 11 points below the cutoff line. He had the biggest deficit to overcome and winning a stage. Well, he's the first one to gain points, so now he is 1 point below the cut line. Doing quick math. I don't do good math, I do quick math.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and do all the math, and we don't have time for that right now, so
Right.
we're going to call it 1 point, and we're going to call it good. We're going to call it good. Yeah, it's, that's fair enough.
Fair enough. All right, let's get a word in with our stage winner. That is the driver of the 027. Dawson, go ahead and take it away, bud.
Yeah, hey, Steve, it's the boys in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, I got you. What's up?
Well, not too much. You're the first guy to get a stage win tonight, and coming into this race, you're 11 points below the cut line. It's got to feel pretty good knowing you're going to get the max points out of that stage. You've made up 11 points already tonight, so how are you feeling about your points situation?
I feel a whole lot better about it. I kind of need it. Hopefully I can score some more in the next one here.
Well, that'll certainly be the goal. We've seen you and your teammates running very aggressively tonight. We're used to seeing you guys run aggressive, but it seems like the intensity is on another level. Is that planned, or are you guys just kind of going with the flow of the race? What's the game plan for Dale Cup tonight to see the intensity that high?
We're just trying to stay up front. We're having some fun, trying to run off some laps here. Hopefully we can just stay up here, but Seabass just slagged out. So I don't know if he's going to be able to come back or not. I heard he was having power issues on and off, so that kind of stinks because he was up here helping me. But I'm trying to get it done. We got Kody up here.
Yes, you do, and we're going to go back green here in stage 2 in just a moment, so we'll let you get back to work here in just a second. But while we have you, anybody you want to thank or shout out for that stage win?
Yeah, just shout out to everybody watching on the stream. Shout out to OP. You guys in the booth.
All right, well, we'll let you get back to it. Let's try to go defend that stage win here in stage 2. Congrats on the stage win. Enjoy it. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, man.
All right, that was our stage winner, Steve Korosec. And he is on the inside of row number 1 for the restart. To his outside, that is the 33 of Jeff Crosby Jr., Then it's Richard Sanchez and Kody Neagles for row 2. And row 3 will be the 62 of Les Levy and the 25 of Kevin Freis.
Yeah, that pit stop kind of shook up the standings a little bit here at the front. And obviously the last lap caution in stage 1, if you will. Obviously we weren't going to have a break, but still happening on the final lap of stage 1. It's going to shake things up quite a bit. Kody Neagles right back into the thick of it, but no fast repair to be played with for the driver of the 6. He's going to have to either, maybe drop back a little bit, play it safe, take his time, or just lay it all on the line and hope it works out. Hope everybody plays nice with him up front. I hope these guys can keep it clean, but he's right back in the fray. And same with Kevin Freis in 25. He's right back up here as well. Several playoff guys here inside the top 10.
All right, so as our pace truck makes its way through turns 3 and 4, it will head off for pit road this time. This just in, because there's a recall on all GM products. Yeah, everyone, just there's a recall on your General Motors vehicle. Good luck with that. So Korosec leads the field now. Crosby Jr. to his outside. As they make their way through the tri-oval, they are going to have to time this restart perfectly if they want to have the clear advantage through 1 and 2 and make the move off of turn 2 to be the lead truck. But here we go. Stage number 2 underway. Korosec and Crosby Jr. drag race to turn number 1.
Top line is a lot more organized here. Les Levy did not get the best of restarts on the bottom, third in line, so expect the middle to roll here with Crosby, Neagles, Freis, Guerrero, Richard Kuhn all lined up pretty much locked on nose to tail. And they are doing just that. Jeff Crosby pokes the nose out front, at least for the time being, with a healthy shove from Kody Neagles in the 6. But now the bottom starts to surge just a little as Korosec's going to lead into 3.
027 down on the bottom line, hugging that yellow line. Comes up off of turn number 4. Crosby Jr. with the momentum, being carried through the high side of the corner. Pulls ahead. Can't quite clear the 27 just yet. And so now he has to stay on the high side once again. I'll tell you, these guys want to try and cycle to the bottom as often as they can. But that high side is usually where you have to go to make the pass.
Yeah, it's where most of the moves are made. And, well, here comes the far outside lineup against the outside wall, and it's led by Gabe Butler. He's got Anthony English, Peter deBorja, and Zach Workman in tow. And now Vicente Guerrero out the power move by the 14. He goes out to lead the outside line. He wants a piece of the action, and they're going to try to get it rolling, get it wound up. Here they come. They're even with the third row. And Neagles jumps out in front of his teammate, leaves Crosby hanging in the middle line. Kody Neagles, an aggressive move to the outside.
They are really slicing and dicing out here. Kody Neagles in the 6 has the race lead. And let's take a moment to talk about Zach Fritsch, as he is 1 lap down. He is in a battle with Nate Warren to be the first truck 1 lap down. However, Nate Warren running around all by himself. He has lost the draft. Zach Fritsch up in this lead pack. So Fritchie in the 12. Right now, riding pretty. Gonna need a caution here if he'd like to get back on the lead lap. But that fast repair has been burned, so the 12 does need to be careful and pay attention to how he gets back into this race.
Top line faded in a hurry as Gabe Butler and Anthony English dove out of line, jumped in behind the 25 to 33. David Booth out of line. He slides across the inside of the racetrack, but he gathers it up. Great save by the driver of the 77. He's going to lose the draft, but better to lose the draft than to lose the truck. He was on a beeline for the inside wall right there at the end of pit road.
Yeah, David Booth in the 77 grabs the gear and gets rolling. Gets back up onto the racetrack. He's going to have to wait a long time before Nate Warren can get to him. So the 77 going to lose ground, but that'll make Nate Warren feel a little bit better. He'll have someone to draft with.
Yeah, there you go for Nate Warren. Help is on the way, and Kody Neagles took the lead briefly, but dropped down in front of his teammate and dropped back just a little bit. And now it's Vicente Guerrero once again challenging for the lead. He's got a nice push from Zach Workman and Adam Kilday making that outside line roll. See if they can go make it work, because Workman almost turned the 14 right across the leaders. That would have been a very large incident. Jeff Crosby Sr.'s into the outside wall, a little further back, about halfway back in the field. Still into the outside wall is the 15.
The 15 keeps it out of harm's way. And we stay green, and Jeff Crosby Sr. Problems for that gentleman as he is making his way onto pit road. That wounded truck will make a pit stop. Good news for him. He does have, as far as I know, he's got his fast repair available. Everyone's going to have to make a pit stop. So he's still in this thing. It's not ideal, but it's not the end of the world for him just yet.
Absolutely, still a long way to go. Over 60 laps still to be run, so not the end of the race. If you get involved in something right here, still pit cycles, still cautions potentially. With the way these guys are racing, I would even say it's more than potential here for cautions. As this race continues on, outside line is really surged. Now the top 3 are clear. Gabe Butler's almost clear, and it's all behind Steve Korosec, who jumped up in front of Jeff Crosby Jr. to continue to lead the race, as Korosec continues to just tick laps onto his lap sled counter here tonight.
Crosby Sr. made his pit stop down and away. 4-tire stop for the 15. He is going to get lapped here. And so he will join Zach Fritsch, Nate Warren as the drivers who will battle to be the first truck 1 lap down. As Kevin Freis in the 25 drops down to the inside. He makes a pass here. Zach Workman going to try and make it 3 wide down the backstretch.
Well, he does, but unfortunately only 2 trucks. That's going to stall the middle's momentum just a little bit. Now let's see if it allows Kody Neagles to get clear in front of his teammate. Not yet, not yet, not yet. Now I think he might be if he wants to take it. Don't be surprised. The 6 jumps out of line here off turn 4. He's peeking. There he goes. Kody Neagles still aggressive. Crosby Jr. matches him. Goes to the outside, throws a block on the 6, and Crosby Jr. will take the race lead back here in the tri-oval.
Through the tri-oval they go. 2 trucks in that 3rd lane, making it 4 wide. Les Levy up along the wall. Zach Workman in the 19 stays behind the 62. And we go back to 3 wide as the 62 and the 19 find somewhere to slot in.
Yep, so back to 2 by 2 all the way back. We're closing in on another pit stop, which will be about halfway into this 2nd stage. It'll probably be somewhere short of lap 40. I would say 40 is about, around where we'll expect to see most guys pit. As soon as the window gets open, I think they'll come down to pit just to get stage points and be on that cycle. So we'll see how it goes. But everybody calming down for now. 2 by 2, Crosby Jr. and Kevin Freis straight in the lead up front.
Hey guys, real quick, if you are enjoying the show, please do make sure that you cheer loudly and often for your favorite driver, as they are
further back.
Is
deBorja, Makara, Vicente Guerrero, and more playoff guys involved about halfway back in the field. And yeah, sorry to cut you off, but they started wrecking right as you started saying that.
Yeah, well, I was getting ready to say, as they pile into the wall, make sure you let them know that you're proud to see that happen. But yeah, you got there before I could. Well, 2 drivers who got through that, Kevin Freis and Richard Sanchez. Let's go ahead and start seeing if we can back up what happened here. Sean Makara in the 71 takes a brutal hit. That is the 2nd hard hit we've had here tonight. Peter deBorja involved, Adam Kilday involved. A lot of championship contenders involved in this. Yeah, just a tough break there, Dawson, for looks like the 40, 71, several others.
Yeah, tough break is right. Looks like just maybe a bit of a hesitation from Sean Makara. He went to go into the 3rd line, thought better of it, and basically slammed on the brakes, had to slam on the brakes to keep from running into the back of Peter deBorja. And Adam Kilday did not quite get the memo in time, I don't think. It leads to a stack up. And then obviously the crash there in turn 1. One onboard, I don't know if you've shown it yet, that I would like to show the people is Zach Workman. I have no idea how he did not basically go the equivalent of head first into this wreck. He somehow managed to mostly get through it unscathed.
All right, let's take a quick look here. On board with Zach Workman in the 19. Into it, gets a little bit of contact. But yeah, he got turned sideways with some contact. Let's see who got into the 19. It looked like the 071 of Very Glory. Yeah, Workman, big moment for him, but race off of pit road, won by the 25 of Kevin Freis. And so, away we go once again.
Yeah, this is going to be the dash to the end of stage 2. Obviously, everybody now can make it to that lap 50 number. And so now the stage points going to be on the line once again. And a lot of playoff guys here at the front going to decide. It looks to me like it's the top 6. And then after that, it's, I think, 7 of the top 10 are all playoff guys. So still a lot of points to be made as Jeff Crosby Sr. is going to get a lap back here by virtue of the wave around.
All right, that is good news for the 15. I believe the free pass went to the 12 of Zach Fritsch. So Fritchie getting it done.
It's the caution he needed for sure to get back on the lead lap and back in contention. He was waiting on that one. If this race goes green, I don't know if he sees the lead lap again. But luckily for him, a quick caution, and he's right back on the lead lap.
Jeff Crosby Sr. last on pit road on lap 33, and that's because we saw him get into the wall and then make it onto pit road, serviced by his crew, and get out there. Not sure what put the 15 into the wall, but now he's got a shot at getting back into this race, and that's all he needs. Just a shot. That's all everyone needs. Chance. Just a chance, just a small one. Anything can happen here.
Oh, absolutely. It's all you ever need at a place like Talladega is a small chance. A clean truck and on the lead lap. And heck, sometimes you don't even need to be on the lead lap with 10 laps to go. We've seen crazier things happen before.
Absolutely. I'll never forget the time I saw the guy that was 3 laps down with 3 laps to go use all 3 attempts at a green-white checkered that happened and ended up on the podium. That was wild. So the 15 down the back stretch going to rejoin at the back of the field. Meanwhile, everyone else stacking up side by side. 44 of Anthony English on the inside for this restart of row number 1. 2 is outside. That is the 25 of Kevin Freis. Kody Neagles in the 6 and Jim Maier in the 95 for, I'm sorry, that is not Jim Maier. That is the 88 of Gabe Butler. Then in Steve Korosec, then Jim Maier. That makes up your first 3 rows for the restart.
Yeah, going to be about a 10-lap dash here to the end of stage 2. We won't take a break unless the yellow flag comes out like it did the end of stage 1, but still going to be pretty much a dash for points here, and then everybody can kind of settle out and go into some pitch strategy, and all the stage points for the night will be given out. But until then, I expect more of the same that you saw at the end of stage 1.
Yeah, we have basically just a 10-lap sprint to the end of this stage. No caution will come out unless there is a crash, so no caution for the stage, I should say. And yeah, Steve Korosec, stage 1 winner. Looks like he's in the mix for a second stage once again.
Oh, I'd say so. He's been probably the most consistent guy on the racetrack, only to maybe Sebastian Marin, but obviously some issues like Steve was telling us at the stage break for Seabass, and it's tough. It's a tough break to not see him on the racetrack anymore, but Steve now gonna have to pick up the slack. He's got another one of his teammates up front in Kody Neagles, so we'll see if the 027 can sweep the stages and really turn his point situation upside down after coming in 11 points under the line. But Kevin Freis, Gabe Butler, Anthony English, and Jim Maier and others would really like to deny him that here in about 10 laps.
That they would, as they make their way down the back stretch, trying to get those race trucks up to speed. Just 2 trucks, 1 lap down. That's Nate Warren, Adam Kilday. They are 25th and 26th. They will battle each other to be the first truck 1 lap down. Then Sean Makara and Eric Laurie will be 2 laps down. 2 trucks out of the race right now. That is Sebastian Marin and John Guerrero. 30 trucks started this race. 28 of them still out on the speedway.
Whoa, almost a moment there in the middle of the pack as Steve Korosec almost turned his teammate Kody Neagles around. Now Butler follows his teammate Freis down the racetrack. They get Anthony English out of shape. All kinds of strange issues going on in 1 and 2 has split the field up in a hurry here on the back straightaway.
We go off the nose of the 17 of Jimmy Reynolds, and you can see as things have sort of settled down as we are 3 wide here at Talladega. Reynolds in that Reynolds wrap 17. Down on the bottom lane, the 68 of David Overstreet just to his outside as the Bottom lane rolls a little bit better through the trioval.
Top lane's the lane that's rolling now in the form of Jeff Crosby Jr. And how about who has made his way back to the front of the field? Oh, right as he does, there's a trouble at the front of the field. Crosby Jr., Gilchrist, Kuhn, Workman, Maier, Korosec, and a lot of other trucks. The big one in turn 2 here on lap 43.
Caution flag coming out. And we will rack them and stack them once again, but this one happening at the front of the field as the 33. You were just talking about how they had that outside lane rolling. The 31 gonna get a bad push on the 33 and gonna stack everyone up behind them. Brian Wang involved, Jimmy Reynolds, David Booth, all getting a piece of this one. Man, our championship contenders just can't seem to get through any of the caution flags that have come out here tonight.
Well, when it's 16 of the 30 trucks on track that have the green spoilers, it's awfully hard to have all of them miss the crashes. But it seems like every time we've had a wreck happen, it's been mostly championship contenders, and several of them that's their second or third wreck of the night. And man, just unlucky for basically everyone on track with a green spoiler here tonight so far.
All right, let's go on board with the driver of the two. That is Nate Warren. You see him stacking up ahead of him. Nate just gets on the binders and gonna slow that down until he can work his way through this caution flag and see if they give the free pass to the two of Nate Warren.
Yeah, I would think so. Doesn't look like he has any damage from that incident. And split strategy is here at the front of the field. Some guys coming in, some guys staying out on the racetrack. And that's how important stage points are to certain guys here at the front of the field.
Kevin Freis in the 25. Not too worried about track position as he peels off into his pit box. Looks like a fuel only stop for the driver of the 25. Interesting strategy. We'll see how this plays out, because coming into tonight's race, the 25 was 13 points above the cut line, right? So he's got a bit of a buffer. I don't know how he finished in stage 1, but he must not be too worried about it. Had to finish pretty good, because I think he was second or third, if I recall. I don't know.
He definitely did get stage points, and I can't remember where exactly he finished, but it was, if I remember right, inside the top 5 or 6 trucks. So yeah, not a bad night for him. He did not come in a horrible point scenario. He was 13 points above the cut line. So not a desperate situation where he needs to stay out and get stage points, whereas Gabe Butler, our race leader, kind of needs to be where he is right now. He needs to stay up here and try to get stage points. I don't think he got any in stage 1, correct me if I'm wrong, but he needs to stay out and hopefully for him win the stage. That's the goal of this strategy, is to win the stage, but he at least needs to secure a decent amount of stage points right here to make him feel a little bit better about where he's at.
Yeah, Butler needs to have a good night. Crosby Sr. needs to have a good night. All these guys, just because they're kind of down and out right now or have had some adversity that they have to overcome, doesn't mean that their night is done. The only 2 drivers who are for sure done and out of this one, that is Sebastian Marin and John Guerrero. And Sebastian Marin, one of our championship drivers. In fact, he came into tonight as the top seeded driver, 24 points above the cut line. But as he sits 29th, those 24 points are going to evaporate very quickly.
Yeah, they are, and that's where you're a little bit thankful that you've got a 24-point buffer. If you're Sebastian Marin, you've got some room for yourself to not finish the race, as well as for some guys lower in points to have maybe have bad nights and help you out a little bit going into next week. He's going to be in a much worse spot than he was tonight, but that 24-point gap is really going to help him come next week. He's not going to be, I don't think, too far down and out when we head to the third race of the first round.
All right, so here we go. We're going to rack them and stack them once again. On board with the 53 of Dave Hunt as we look out the back. That is the 12 of Zach Fritsch. And old Fritschy has he's had his ups and downs here tonight, and we'll see if he can stay on the uptrend. All right, guys. Our drivers are ready to go once again, so let me hear you cheer loudly for them. Otherwise, I'm starting to think that you guys aren't here to cheer your driver on. Good grief. If you're here watching and you're not cheering for your driver, what are you doing? Kevin Neagles knows how to cheer for his driver.
Yeah, he does. And I was just going to say, I saw him in the chat. You knew he was going to respond with Kody running in position number 3 right now.
All right, here we go. Chevy Silverado peels off for pit road. Anthony English, Gabe Butler on the front row for the restart. Then it's Mark Mann, Kody Neagles, Richard Sanchez, and Vicente Guerrero as they make their way into the tri-oval and into the restart zone. Green flag is out. Away we go once again with just 4 laps left here in stage 2.
And now it's where the points are going to get made. It's the last opportunity you have to get basically free points, not counting the end of the race where you finish. This is the last opportunity to get some bonus points and cushion yourself going into next week and give yourself some room for error in that third stage. Top line rolling. Gabe Butler out in front. Kody Neagles, Vicente Guerrero, Kevin Freis in tow. They are locked on nose to tail. Now it's just going to be who makes the first move, who jumps out of line first. And the answer is going to be Les leaving the 62 a little further back.
The 44 of Anthony English down on the yellow line, being helped by the 04 Mark Mann. Got some good speed down there on the bottom line, but the 88 of Gabe Butler charging right back. 2 trucks up in the third lane. That's Les Levy and Jimmy Reynolds. And so Dawson, we are coming to the end of this stage. You've got to have the position that you want to be in right now, because if you start jockeying around a little bit more here, you could end up in the wall.
Obviously, Gabe Butler and Anthony English going to be satisfied with where they're running right now. Now behind them, I don't know how much satisfaction there's going to be from Kody Neagles on back, but we're going to have to see as Gabe Butler jumps out the outside, and Kevin Freis goes with him, but Kody Neagles does not. Anthony English is going to hold that middle line, going to let Kody Neagles come to him, but 3 wide behind the leaders. This is going to let Mark Mann lead a couple laps here. 2 laps to go in stage 2, and we're almost 4 wide a little further back.
Mark Mann in the 04 started deep in the field, did not turn a qualifying time, and now finds himself battling for a stage win as he is on the yellow line. But Anthony English in the 44 surging ahead from that middle lane. Kody Neagles in the 6 pushing hard on that back bumper.
Yeah, and Kevin Freis making a Herculean effort to keep Gabe Butler alongside the leaders in the outside. Unfortunately, it's going to start to, come back to bite him a little bit. The temperature is going to go up in a hurry on the 25 machine, and he's got some help now in Les Levy, Zach Workman, and Steve Korosec, but either way, the middle line, looks good. They almost come together there at the end of the tri-oval. Neagles to the bottom. He makes the first move out from behind Anthony English. Now they leave English hanging as Guerrero goes with him. That lets Gabe Butler clear down to the lead all the way to the middle.
Final time around for stage number 2. Zach Workman in trouble. He'll collect Workman. Yellow flag comes out, and I am not sure who was in front when that happened. It's either the 6 or the 88. But Zach Workman and Workman get together coming off of turn 2. Jim Maier getting a piece of that, and heavy damage for the 95. Let's take a look as they make their way off of turn 2. And so it looks like everyone was really able to continue, except for maybe the 95 of Jim Maier, as he got a hard shot and nose first into the inside wall. And so another championship contender could be out of this race. But the 6 of Kody Neagles looks like he is going to win stage 2.
Yeah, what a rebound it is for the regular season champion. He got involved in a wreck on lap 5 off the bumper of his teammate. And him and his teammate going to get nice stage points here. Vicente Guerrero gets a 4th place run in this stage. They've recovered quite nicely. Steve Korosec actually gets stage points as well. So another few stage points added to his night. How about a 13-point stage night for Steve Korosec? That's huge. Coming into this race, 11 points below the line. We talked about it quite a bit off the top. But Vicente Guerrero, Kody Neagles were also not in a great spot in points either. And they've had a great stage point night as well. So great rebound for them. Great rebound for Gabe Butler, who needed points right there. He gets 2nd. I'm sure he'll be just fine with that result.
All right, on to pit road. Our drivers now await service by their pit crew. Jim Maier gonna go a lap down, and I think when this is all said and done, Jim Maier maybe gonna end up multiple laps down, because that was a very hard impact, and I don't think he had a fast repair left to him. Winning the race off of pit road, that is Kevin Freis in the 25. Jeff Crosby Jr. did not hit his pit box. So let's see if we can get a word in with our stage winner from Dale Cup Games. That means that they have won stage 1 and stage 2. Kody, you got your ears on, bud?
Yep.
All right, Dale Cup, very strong start to this race. Stage 1 going to Korosec, stage 2 goes to you.
Yeah, been a pretty solid race other than Seabass having connection issues, which is very unfortunate because I think we have ran a strong race. Had a little bit of a team hiccup early, especially with me and Vince losing our only quick fix, but I said I think we need to just stay aggressive with it, and if we're going to get eliminated from the playoffs, I'd rather go out running the way I run. So I just went right back to the front and crossed my fingers and toes, and so far so good.
You can cross your toes?
I don't know, it sounded good. I'm not that athletic, but sure.
Okay, all right. Well, the 6 looks fast. It has been fast all night long. You started this race, row 2? I think it was outside row 2, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
and,
4th.
And, you know, had that dust up in the first few laps. But I'll tell you what, Kody, that 6, always fast. And, man, I'm with you. If you're going to get eliminated, might as well be eliminated with your elbows up.
Yep, I'm not going to be eliminated running a race that I don't normally run. So if I get wrecked, I get wrecked. Plus, if you get stage points, then you have a little bit of a safety net. You know, if something does happen at the end of the race, you can fall back on the stage points. Moving forward, I think just more of the same. If I get involved, or you know, if I see something getting hairy or get mid-pack, then back out of it, reset, maybe go to the back, just kind of see what the race brings me. But really, the only lap that matters now is the last one, so I just need to make it there.
All right, man. Well, nice job on winning the stage here tonight. Shout outs, thank yous. Anything else you need to add?
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to everyone at Dale Cup for always running a good race, and I got great teammates back at Dale Cup.
All right, that is the driver of the 6, Kody Neagles, our stage 2 winner. So Dawson, 2 stages in the books. Final race to the finish. begins. And this field looking a bit different than it did when we started.
It does. We've had ups and downs for basically everybody in the field tonight, and we're going to settle it here on this last stage. We have 41 laps to get it done. About 2 pit stops to go if it goes green. So we'll have to see if it does get into a pit strategy race. I'm excited to see if it does, especially with all the playoff complications that could loom with a fuel strategy race. We'll have to see if it gets there, but certainly a lot of playoff guys in the hunt for this one. Most notably Kevin Freis, Kody Neagles looking to be the first guy to lock into the second round.
All right, so here we go as they're stacked up side by side, 2 by 2. Championship on the line for some of these guys. We will eliminate 4 drivers from our championship 14, and I gotta tell you, our bottom 4 really putting up a battle here tonight to try and stay in championship contention. Sean Makara gonna need some help. The 71 not on the lead lap. Peter deBorja in the 40 not on the lead lap as well. He was just above the cut line. Sean Makara just below the cut line. So we'll see how these guys play it out. The 40 and the 71 gonna have to duke it out amongst themselves, I guess. But here we go. The 6 of Kody Neagles, the 25 of Kevin Freis. Green flag is in the air. Away we go once again.
Kody got a heck of a jump, but does not have the help to get to turn 1. He's going to have to fade back to the 62 of Les Levy. He beat Kevin Freis on the restart by about a half a truck length, which is kind of unlikely. Kevin Freis, one of the best guys at getting on the gas in the restart zone, and he's going to take the lead off turn 2. But Neagles going to try to rebound. Got Levy and Hunt behind him. Overstreet Sanchez helping the 25 up top. Some non-playoff guys kind of trying to shake it up, do the same thing Nate Warren did last week and steal a win away.
The 25 out in front. Kody Neagles on his back bumper. But Richard Sanchez in the 510 starting to roll that second lane with David Overstreet giving him a good shove on the back bumper. Checkered Flag Motorsports. They're known for showing up when it is imperative that a championship contender win a race. Checkered Flag Motorsports will find a way to upset the cart wagon.
Yeah, and even outside of Checkered Flag Motorsports, I mean, we had Nate Warren win last week, kind of throw a wrench in the plans of some of the playoff guys as he was able to slide through a wreck at the end of the race and steal the win in the dying moment. Speaking of Nate Warren, by the way, he's up against the outside wall with the help of Zach Workman, Steve Korosec, and Kacey Gilchrist. So here comes the 2 to the front, but now Gabe Butler jumps in front of him, 3 wide, 5 rows deep, 40 laps to go.
Yeah, Nate Warren has battled back from being off the lead lap, and here he is trying to put himself in position to lead this race. Gabe Butler and the 88 slides all the way down to the bottom. Contact between the outside rows. The 2 and the 510 got together as the 88 of Gabe Butler went from the high side all the way down to the bottom. Oh, and Nate Warren in trouble once again as David Overstreet and Nate Warren make contact. The 68 is pointed the wrong direction. Yellow flag is out once again. Let's take a quick look at that one. Talk about pucker factor. That 68 was sliding for a long time in front of many of our trucks.
Yeah, absolutely. And Overstreet lucky to just hold the brake, lock it down, and not get hit by anybody that I saw. So looks like besides the innocent spin, David Overstreet going to come away pretty well unscathed, and that's not normal for a Talladega race to not get hit by anyone sliding basically sideways, not far off the racing surface.
All right, so yellow flag in the air once again. And with that being said, guys, we're going to take a quick break. no one go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Racing, you wanted the best, you got him 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as our drivers are stacked up side by side, 2 by 2. Jim Maier, Sean Makara took the free pass, or I should say the wave around, but they still have 1 lap to make up. They're trying to get back into this battle, but that uphill battle for them continues. David Overstreet in the 68, still sitting on pit road. Sebastian Marin, John Guerrero still out of the race. We do have 28 trucks currently being scored. We started 30. Of those 28, only 24 are on the lead lap. Peter deBorja in the 40, last truck on the lead lap. Our race leader right now, well, we don't have a race leader. We have 2 trucks on the front row for the restart. That's the 88 of Gabe Butler and the 25 of Kevin Freis. So Dawson, here we go. Chevy Silverado going to hit pit road.
And it leaves us with 35 laps to go in this race. Probably only, it's really still 2 pit stops, I think. I don't think there's a way you can realistically make it 1. We're going to find out pretty quickly here in about 17 laps whether or not they can make it in only 1 stop. Obviously, 1 more caution means it is down to a 1 pit stop race, but nonetheless, still plenty of racing to go. And it's boot knocking teammates on the front row. Butler and Freis headed back down towards turn number 1, excuse me. They've got a host of playoff guys in their rearview mirror looking to get around them here on this restart.
I'll tell you what, I really like the way that 88 Guinness truck looks, that paint scheme. When the sun hits it just right, looks incredible. And I think that one's going to be a good one to see in victory lane. But the 88 has got to get there to make that happen. Gabe Butler, no stranger to victory lane, but an uphill battle all race long for the 88. So here we go. See what he can do with it.
Yeah, he needed a good night. We knew he needed a good night. Obviously, his teammate doesn't want to take that away from him, but with him being on the front row, I know Freis wants to win just as much as anybody in the field. So let's see how this goes down. If it comes down to the 2 boot knocking teammates, obviously Gabe Butler being below the line needs the win a little bit more. But Freis obviously going to work with him until then as he jumps up in front of his teammate, leaves the bottom for Richard Sanchez. He's got a healthy push from Zach Workman. Zach Fritsch is up here. Kacey Gilchrist is up here. Let's see. I see Dale Cup teammates in the outside line. That's Neagles and Korosec, and Vicente Guerrero coming through the field a little further back as well.
David Overstreet has rejoined the race. He is multiple laps down, but the 68 is back out there. We'll see how he can help his teammates get into victory lane. He's got quite a few trucks ahead of him that are not on the lead lap. So looks like the 68 going to need the help of a lot of cautions between now and the end of the race if he wants to get back on the lead lap.
Well, again, we've seen crazier things, multiple cautions over the course of 5 or 6 laps. So, hey, I mean, you never know, I guess. Obviously, a worthwhile cause to stay out there, try to help your teammates, and also maybe just hang on to the little bit of hope you got left in the 33 laps we've got to go. That maybe you get some kind of miracle. Maybe more guys drop out of the race, and you can pass some trucks, make up some spots. But nonetheless, Overstreet, like you said, multiple laps down. He's basically going to need a miracle here tonight as outside line starts to roll again. Freis, Butler, Neagles, Korosec. Far outside, only 2 trucks. Les Levy and Dave Hunt starting to make some ground as well.
Les Levy in the 62, Dave Hunt in the 53. Dave Hunt at one point was not on the lead lap, but here he is. Now trying to push the 62 to the front. We make it 3 wide as a battle for the race lead starts to heat up a little bit more.
Well, and it can heat up all it wants to, but everybody on tracks, their thought process right now is there's still at least 1 pit stop to be made in this race. So you can get all the track position you want, but you are still going to have to execute on pit road at least 1 more time. I think it's still 2 more times. And we'll have to see when they decide to hit pit road. We'll obviously get our answer on whether or not it's 1 time or 2 times. As Richard Sanchez jumps to the outside, he wants a piece of the race lead from Kevin Freis. Starting to spoil the playoff party here at the front a little bit. It's the 5-1-0. Bit of a new look for Richard this week. The Coors Banquet look on his truck.
Yeah, that truck looking sharp. You know, you mentioned trying to gauge a pit stop. And I think you absolutely have to make 2 pit stops here because you've got to keep in mind we will use 2 attempts at a green-white checkered. If you were to make it from here on 1 stop from when we took the green flag to the end of the race, you would have to stretch your fuel unimaginably far, not only to make it to the first stop, but then to the end of the race, especially if we used 2 green-white checkered attempts. So, trouble.
No, Workman and Fritsch go around. They're going to collect a bunch of playoff guys, including the regular season champion, Kody Neagles, who comes to a stop in the tri-oval. And just like that, the race is flipped on its head once again.
The 6 of Kody Neagles finding trouble, and he said if he was going to get taken out, it was going to be because his elbows were up. And here he is finding that situation coming a little bit more true than he would prefer. Let's take a look and see. Workman in front of the field gets turned sideways. And everyone's scattering, trying to find somewhere to go. Or something soft to hit if you got to hit something. Big trouble for the 19. Dawson, how'd you see that?
Well, Workman tried to do what we've seen guys do all season long. Tell you have to race the trucks with the new aerodynamic package that we have, and that's lane swap. Keep the temperatures fresh on both lanes, trying to keep yourself up front. And I think he went to clear across the middle lane and wasn't quite clear. He misjudged it just the slightest bit. He might have gotten called clear. I've seen that happen before. Where either your teammate behind you, obviously you had Zach Fritsch behind him there, maybe calls you clear, go up and you go and you're not clear, or the spotter calls you clear and you're not, and you go up, and he just misjudged it by a couple of feet, and it started a chain reaction there at front of the field, and we've spread them out, pile them up once again.
All right, on the pit road. The field makes its way. Everyone gonna hit pit road as we're working a lap 65 of 94. And I think this does alleviate some pressure in how you call your strategy, because now you for sure can make it one stop from here ish. One stop ish. Yeah, you can do it in one stop from here and still cover your green white checkered.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a one-stop race, but that still leaves a green flag pit stop. We'll have to see if we actually use it or not. Pace of the race tells me no, but hey, we'll have to see. We had one earlier in the going, so obviously still one of those to go if we get to it. But now it reduces that to number 1 instead of 2, but it makes that 1 all the more important. It could determine whether you win the race or whether you finish 21st, 22nd, 23rd, something like that.
Dawson, I will say, no matter what, you've been in victory lane more than any of the other drivers out here, but they don't count that. Don't you think that's rude?
Maybe slightly. I'm not sure where you're gauging that statistic from. I have 1 win this season, but several of these guys have 2.
On Monday night.
Okay, yeah, I see where you're coming from. But they send me down to victory lane. You send me down there to talk, not celebrate. So I don't know if we can count that one.
Well, I'm counting
You send me down there to bug those guys that just won and ramble with them for a few minutes when they just want to celebrate the win. So I don't know if we can count it, but hey, I'll gladly take credit if you're giving it to me.
Well, okay. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to victory lane. We're gonna celebrate tonight like we won the race, and see what happens.
Fair enough. Sounds like a plan to me. Not sure how the guy that wins the race is gonna feel about that, but I guess we'll find out.
I mean, what are they gonna do? Send an email?
Yeah, probably. Strongly worded email. Yeah, I think we've all gotten one of those in our day. I'm sure that everyone watching can relate to that one.
As long as I've been with OP, let me just list the strong words that they have used as to why I'm a terrible racer and broadcaster. It's fine. They can't hurt my feelings anymore.
All right, well, hey, I guess that makes our decision.
All right, so Dawson has won the race tonight. Good job, Dawson.
Hey, I'll gladly steal the thunder and take the credit from whoever actually goes to victory lane.
No, we won't do that. But it is good little space filler here under yellow flag. All right, Les Levy in the 62, down on the bottom of row number 1 for the restart. Totally atop, that is Kevin Freis in the 25. Row number 2, the 88 of Gabe Butler, and then the 53 of Dave Hunt. Row 3, Jeff Crosby Jr. and Anthony English. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Restart number, I kind of lost count. Dawson, I feel like this is restart number 7.
7, 8, something along those lines. I think it's number 7. Not that I've been counting, but I have a handy dandy overlay that tells me 7th caution. So, you know, I'm going to trust the technology on this one.
I'd trust the technology. Mostly because if it was up to me to count, we'd still be stuck on 2.
Yeah, it's been several more than 2. I can tell you that much.
Oh, there's numbers outside of 2?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
All right. Well, either way, the green flag is about ready to come out. Les Levy in the 62 has had a very good race. As Levy takes the green flag waving, throttles down, and away we go. 25 on the outside, gonna have to have some help there as Nate Warren slices down to the inside lane, found an opening and tried to fill it.
Yeah, he did, and outside starts to surge a little bit. Kevin Freis getting some help finally from the outside line. In his mind, he's telling these guys, hey, come on, you know, I'm not waiting forever, only 27 laps to go. Not infinite time left as Dave Hunt finally gets him back up on the front row, but Gabe Butler shoving Les Levy hard on the bottom. They've got the Crosbys behind them. How about that? Crosby Jr., Crosby Sr. lined up 3rd and 4th on the inside line.
Les Levy charging through or to the tri-oval as the 25 of Kevin Freis has to build that momentum still. Dave Hunt and the 53 pushing on the back bumper. We are 2 wide. Jim Maier in the 95, the first truck not on the lead lap, as he is the only truck 1 lap down. Eric Laurie, David Overstreet are 2 laps down. So Jim Maier right now just has to mind his P's and Q's, maybe not get mixed up in anything here. Stay at the tail end of this pack and hope for a caution to get him back on the lead lap.
Third line starting to roll. Richard Sanchez, Mark Mann, Kacey Gilchrist, Peter deBorja, Steve Korosec up against the outside wall. They're about 3 rows back in the lead and closing in a hurry. Here comes the third line. Richard Sanchez with a huge head of steam. He may have the lead by the time we get back to 1.
Sanchez through the tri-oval into turn 1. Couldn't quite get the race lead like you said, Dawson, but made a valiant charge as we have 25 laps to go. 25 cars on the lead lap. This race is starting to wind down. We'll have 1 more pit stop should this stay green. That final green flag pit stop would be called the money stop. We'll see who can get on and off pit road the best, most efficient, and who can come away with the race win.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was able to fill in last night and call a race that went green to checkered, caution free, and ended up being a field strategy race. The strategy that was going to win the race was going to be the guys that pit early when the window opened on this last run, which would be here about 15 laps to go. They got on pit road and got off pit road very quickly, and we're going to win the race had it not been for a couple of guys that were able to stretch an entire tank of fuel about 3 laps past the normal distance while in a pack of trucks. So I don't think we're going to have that tonight. These guys I don't think are going to be fuel saving, but I think you'll see the first group that comes to pit road is going to be the one that ends up winning the race.
The 88 of Gabe Butler battling with the 25 of Kevin Freis. It seems like the 88 and the 25 have battled all night long, side by side or nose to tail with each other. And here they are once again, now nose to tail. Kevin Freis coming out on top for the moment. The 53 of Dave Hunt leading the middle lane, and then it is Sanchez in the 510 on the top shelf.
Yeah, 3x3 most of the way back here as Sanchez pokes his truck out front. He's going to get a huge run. He may clear down if he wants it, and he does. Strong move by Richard Sanchez. Great push by Mark Mann. Up on the top side, Sanchez decides to go all the way down to the yellow lining. Down in front of the Bootnaka entry of Gabe Butler. It's going to allow Mark Mann, I think, to lead this race, at least the time being. The 0-4, he's got strong push from Steve Korosec. And the 0-4 is going to get himself a lap led here at the line, I do believe.
Yeah, Mark Mann led that lap. And the 0-4, who started all the way back at the tail end of this field. As I mentioned at the top of this broadcast, that 0-4 fresh from his vacation in Hawaii. Doing all he can to show that a little bit of rest goes a long way, because that 0-4 out in front.
Well, how about that string of a couple of weeks for Mark Mann? First off, gets to go to Hawaii. We talked about that on the broadcast last week. Oh, well, and right as I say that, Sanchez, Korosec, Mann, Kilday, Booth, and others are going to go for a spin here off the exit of turn number 4. We pile them up with 22 laps to go.
The 0-4 involved in that one. Broadcaster's curse. Once again, rearing its ugly head, collecting the 0-4 Mark Mann. See, Dawson, this is why you can't talk about anybody. You just can't do it. You might as well talk about the fans, the spectators, but the moment we do that, the grandstands will collapse.
Sure seems that way sometimes, and that's about the most unlucky timing we could get, although I will say I think Richard Sanchez actually gets the brunt of this incident. He bounces off the outside wall pretty hard with both ends of the 510 truck. He's got considerable damage on his machine as he gets it woed down here in the back of the field. He's hurting. He's going to need to use his fast repair, I would think.
Yeah, that is the third truck that we have seen hit so hard it goes up into the air. And yeah, I mean, amazing that it can pull away. Pull away from the crash, the scene of the crash. Let's go on board with the 40. That is Peter deBorja. Just ahead. Mark Mann in the 0-4, Sanchez in the 510. So deBorja able to navigate through all of that and get through cleanly. Everyone on the pit road with 21 laps to go. No one can make it on fuel from here, so we still once again have one more pit stop to make. Good news though, 95 of Jim Maier going to get the free pass. He is waved around the pace car and he will get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, it's a big break for him here on a late caution especially. It's going to get him right back into this race. He needed that to go his way, and it's going to shake the field up once again. Les Levy, another great pit stop for the 62. He's going to inherit the lead here off pit road in front of Gabe Butler.
So the 62 of Levy on the pit road, or off of pit road with the race lead. And with that being said, guys, we're going to take a quick break. No one go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as the yellow flag is about to be put away. The green flag will come out. We will have 18 laps to go. Les Levy in the 62 and the 53 of Dave Hunt lead this field to the restart. Very interesting race here starting to shape up. I don't think anyone can make it on fuel from here if we go into green-white checkered attempts, but I gotta believe somebody somewhere is going to start saving fuel to try and stretch it to the end of this race. So here we go, Dawson. The strategy calls that are about to be made. Calculators are burning down, batteries are being replaced, because holy cow, this one's on the line.
Yeah, it is, and Les Levy, Dave Hunt bring the field back into the restart zone. About 8 guys stayed on the racetrack with 1 to go until the green flag, and they certainly are going to be at a disadvantage here. I'll tell you, from that race last night, ironically enough, same fuel tank, the winner of the race last night went 18 laps on a tank of gas, so everyone from about 10th on back, you would think would be good to go here to the end of the race if they could manage to save that much under green. It's going to be awfully tough, but obviously, judging by the race I saw last night, not impossible. So that becomes very interesting to watch as we wind this one down.
Side by side, the 33, the 62, the 04 Mark Mann right there as well. Good to see a lot of our championship contenders doing what they can to recover from all the issues that they have had. Do want to point out we have 26 trucks on the lead lap. David Overstreet now the first truck that is not on the lead lap, but he is 2 laps down. He and Eric Laurie are in a battle to be the first truck to get the free pass. Eric Laurie also 2 laps down. 28 trucks still in this race. Sebastian Marin dropped out on lap 24. John Guerrero dropped out on lap 7. Those are the only 2 trucks out of the race of the 30 who have started here tonight.
Top line rolling about 7 rows deep. It's Steve Korosec, Richard Sanchez, Kevin Freis, and they are making serious hay up against the outside wall as they try to come forward. But the line's kind of disorganized at the front. And I'll tell you what, and again, this may just be these guys are calmed down a little bit. To me, I'm pretty sure some of these guys are saving gas. Zach Workman, Gabe Butler, Peter deBorja, maybe a little further back, laying way off the guy in front of them. To me, that tells me that they are off the throttle. I mean, they're saving some fuel, and I think that's what's allowing Korosec, Sanchez, and Freis to move as fast as they are towards the front. They're up inside the top 5 already.
Yeah, you talk about saving gas. Steve Korosec, last time around, turned his fastest lap of the race. Now, not the fastest lap of the race, but that was his fastest lap of the race last time around. So he is doing what he needs to do to get back into this fight for the race win.
Yes, he is, and he can't really afford to save fuel. When we talked about his points situation, he's got to be at the front. He can't be in a position to react. He's got to be the one to act. He's got to be the one to move first. With 15 laps to go, he's doing just that. He's just about in the front row. As they've gained another truck, Gabe Butler is up behind his Bootnaka teammate, Kevin Freis, 4th in line now. And they try to truck their way to the front, no pun intended. But like I said, Korosec needs to be there. He cannot afford to lay back and wait like some of these guys are, as it appears several guys are saving gas, trying to make it to the end.
Jeff Crosby Jr. in the 33, right there in the middle. Les Levy in the 62, down on the bottom. Steve Korosec, the 3rd lane, top shelf, whatever you want to call it. Those guys are our line leaders. We're going to have 14 laps to go here in the race tonight. Matt Wagner in the 11. He is the last truck in this line, last truck on the lead lap. All of our contenders right now, all 28 contenders, are within 1.5 seconds of each other. They are all tightly packed right now.
Yeah, it's about 6 rows of 3 wide here at the front of the field, and when that starts to pack up, you run out of space, and if something happens, It accordions its way all the way back through the field. Korosec dives across the middle lane. Crosby goes a lane lower, takes the race lead. May jump up in front of Korosec, but the middle line starts to fade a little bit. Allows Les Levy to get clear. May allow Mark Mann to get clear. Les Levy says, I want a piece of that action. Goes up to the outside. Gonna get a nice push from Korosec, and the 62 goes back to the lead. 13 laps to go at Talladega.
Crosby Jr. in the 33 down on the bottom. Mark Mann in the 04. Pushing on that back bumper with Jimmy Reynolds and the 17 in support. Trouble off at turn number 2. Around goes Sanchez. Several other trucks involved. David Booth in the 77 pointed the wrong way. Kody Neagles in the 6. I believe he has got some heavy damage. David Overstreet, Ryan Wang, all getting involved in this one. Yellow flag is out once again. Peter deBorja getting a piece of it. Let's back this up and see what happened here. On board with the 6 of Kody Neagles as they make their way off of turn number 2. Kody thought he was safe, found himself down to the bottom. But the 68 coming out of nowhere, or at least from camera right, and gets into the 6. So Kody, slight damage there, probably able to continue without too much of a headache. Let's take another look here. Sanchez, Les Levy, all getting crossed up. This was another big one, man.
Yeah, it was. Happened pretty close to the front of the field, involved a couple of the leaders, and it collected a bunch of playoff guys, including Kody Neagles, who was running all the way at the back of the field. It's pretty insane when you consider between last week and this week just how much bad luck Kody Neagles has had, and it just continues once again this week. Luckily for him, he got a decent night in stage points because he's got more damage on that truck he's going to have to come to pit road and fix, as do several of our championship contenders. Peter deBorja, Jeff Crosby Sr. As well here back near the back of the field, going to have to come get some damage repaired.
All right, so almost every truck on the pit road. The 2 of Nate Warren stays out. And I do believe this will be our final pit stop of the night. No matter what, I believe everyone can make it to the end of the race from here. If they come down pit road, it's going to be for damage repair or tires because they're at the back half of the pack. But from here on out, the race leaders, they're not going to give up track position just yet. So Nate Warren stays out. Matt Wagner stays out. Everyone else down pit road. So Warren gonna come away with the race lead. Matt Wagner in second. But I'll tell you what, Dawson, track position is key, but it doesn't mean that you're gonna win the race.
It doesn't. A lot can still happen. We've seen it happen this season. In fact, we saw it happen, last week. Kevin Freis, I thought for sure was going to have the victory off turn 4. Gets turned, ends up in the outside wall, finishes 15th instead. Nate Warren scoots on by and gets the victory from about 5 rows back at the white flag. So track position, it means a lot in the sense that you have control over what the field does. You're the first one to act. So anything that comes from behind you, you can quickly move to block that. But at the same time, you can also still be vulnerable, and we saw it happen last week. We've seen it happen a number of times throughout the season.
All right, so Sanchez, Neagles, Booth, Workman, Crosby Sr., and Jimmy Reynolds still sitting on pit road. Workman down and away. So Zach Workman in the 19 has enough damage repaired that he can get rolling, but Neagles, Sanchez, Booth, Crosby Sr., and Reynolds, well, they all drop to Jackson. They get going. So crews earning their pay here tonight.
Well, absolutely, they have to. I mean, in races like this, especially when the stakes are this high, in a playoff race, you know, the drivers putting some serious pressure on their crews tonight. I'll tell you what, several of these guys, that's a number of stops down pit road. And hopefully for a lot of those guys, it's their last one. That's what they're hoping. Here's we get ready to go green inside 10 laps to go.
All right, so as they stack up 2 by 2, our 2 trucks that did not come down pit road, Nate Warren, Matt Wagner, will restart at the front of the field. The 33 of Jeff Crosby Jr., the 25 of Kevin Freis, row number 2. Then it's the 04 of Mark Mann and the 027 of Steve Korosec for row number 3.
I'm looking back a little bit further for some playoff guys that are in contention. Sean Makara, how about to come back for the 71? He's going to be 8th on this restart. Zach Fritsch is going to be back there on the inside of row 5. Kacey Gilchrist to his outside. Richard Kuhn's having a nice night running in 12th. Several playoff guys have recovered nicely and have a shot at this one. Inside 10 laps to go. They're right where they want to be in the closing stages.
All you have to do is be on the lead lap when the white flag comes out. That should be like a main goal that everyone has, to be on the lead lap at a super speedway race when the white flag comes out. Because whatever happens next, if you're 1 lap down and you cross the white flag line, that's it. You're done and locked into that place that you're at, so to speak. But if you're on the lead lap, everyone in front of you could be wiped out and you could come away with the race win.
Well, we saw Nate Warren do it a week ago. He's going to control the field here on the restart. 9 laps to go. Everyone's good on fuel from here. Who's going to get the job done? A number of playoff guys want it. A number of non-playoff guys want to steal it from them. Here we go, 9 laps to go from Talladega. Nate Warren heads down towards turn 1. And we are rolling once again. Matt Wagner to his outside, pushed by Kevin Freis. And playoff guys lined up in both lanes, several rows deep, trying to say something about this one and get locked into the next round. It's going to be Matt Wagner, I believe, going to nose out in front of lead as we hit the Alabama Gang super stretch.
Down that back stretch we go. The 11 of Wagner inching ahead of the 2 of Nate Warren. Jeff Crosby Jr.
Further back, Peter DeBorja and Vicente Guerrero around in front of the field. We're going to go under yellow once again with 9 laps to go, and it's playoff guys once again. About halfway back in the field that got around. I think everybody got it back going, though.
Zach Workman goes through his lawn care stage. As we already can see here, the 14 is got the back end up in the air. So that tells me we need to back this up just a little bit further to figure out what happened. Yep, no, not far enough. Hold on. We're going to go further still. It looked like Jim Maier just starts drifting down the track to set this one off.
Yeah, just kind of one of those deals a little further back in the pack. Everybody kind of going for smaller and smaller pieces of real estate the later we get in a race, and they come together on the back straight away. And unfortunately for Vicente Guerrero, he's going to get the worst end of that, I do think. Yep, he's back in 25th position. I believe Richard Kuhn got a piece of this as well. So for them, for those 2 playoff guys, that's a pretty big setback here late in the going of this race.
So yellow flag in the air once again. And if you're coming down pit road at this point, you're in the back half of the field. You're taking all 4 tires, splash of fuel, whatever it is you need, but you should always be taking 4 tires just in case.
Yeah, I mean, at this point... Oh, sorry to cut you off there, KR.
Dawson, we have a special guest in YouTube chat.
Oh boy, who would that be?
That would be Mr. Randy Post. And this gentleman is a special guest because he is the reason why ED is in special.
Wow. That's about all I can say to that one as well.
Yes. How you doing, Randy? Good to see you, buddy. Oh man, he is a fellow race car driver. He has a sprint car, and he has had quite a few seasons in that sprint car. I've been following him and his posts and get it on Facebook. But yeah, no, Randy, good to see you, man. Thank you very much for stopping by. And so Dawson, I'll let Randy tell you about himself. He will type nonstop because he loves talking about himself just as much as I love talking about racing.
Fair enough. Glad to hear it. He doesn't have a ton of time to do that though. We only got 7 laps to go. Going to be 6 laps to go. We hit the start finish line.
Don't worry, he can get it done. He's special.
Fair enough.
All right, so Matt Wagner, Kevin Freis, Nate Warren, Steve Korosec, and Jeff Crosby Jr., your top 5 as they are lined up single file. Sorry. Yeah, I stand by what I said about Randy. Dawson, it's all you, bud.
I don't know how I can follow that one up, honestly. We'll see if we can. Hopefully, crank the pace truck up to about 90 miles an hour and get back under green. Let these drivers take it away because I don't want to try to follow that up.
All right, Matt Wagner, Kevin Freis on the front row for the restart. Nate Warren and Steve Korosec, row number 2. Then row number 3 going to be Jeff Crosby Jr. and Sean Makara. Sean Makara has had his ups and downs here tonight. He is not giving up the fight just yet. So remember, I said all you have to do is be on the lead lap when the white flag comes out. Drivers who are not on the lead lap right now, that is Eric Laurie, Richard Kuhn, and David Overstreet. Richard Kuhn finding himself on pit road and has been for the last 3 minutes, so extensive repairs going on for the 47. David Overstreet multiple laps down. Eric Laurie 1 lap down. As we get ready to go back to green flag racing. Dawson, a lot of our championship contenders have had issues here tonight. And when we say a lot of it, we mean more than one issue per championship contender. Yet somehow almost all of them are still out there and still competing.
Yeah, but a lack of fast repairs, I think it's going to become an issue pretty quickly. I'm almost positive almost all of our championship contenders have utilized that fast repair already at some point in this race. So not a lot of mulligans left to give here in the last 5 laps or so. It's going to be whoever can keep their truck the cleanest. And if they have to limp across the line, well, we've certainly seen it before. So it might come down to that on the way this race is going. But regardless, Kevin Freis, Matt Wagner have the field in hand. 5 laps to go. We're down to it. Here we go. Race 2 of the playoffs comes down to 5 laps left. Green flag. And away we go towards turn number 1. Matt Wagner, a great restart on the outside. He's going to have an excellent pusher behind him in Steve Korosec as they look to go to the lead. Here comes Freis surging back on the bottom.
Korosec, our stage 1 winner, looking to try and win this race, but he has to play it right because Matt Wagner in the 11, not a championship contender, but still an upstanding super speedway racer could come away with the race win if they all get caught napping. Here comes Kevin Freis in that bottom lane with Nate Warren in the 2. Could Nate Warren go back-to-back 2 wins in our championship 16? Oh man, just imagine the panic. Oh, behind them, trouble.
Holy cow, Dave Hunt gets turned around right in front of the field. The only truck he's going to collect is Richard Sanchez, and that was about 6 inches from the back bumper of the 6 of Kody Neagles. I have no idea how he did not get involved in this one. That was almost disaster for the driver of the 6.
So yellow flag out once again. And let's go on board with the 6 of Kody Neagles. And you saw he did get a bit of a wiggle there. So slight contact did happen for the 6 of Kody Neagles. But it wasn't from the 53 of Dave Hunt. It just was, I think, just the buffeting of everyone as it happened.
Yeah, it was just the first thing I noticed is how close Hunt came to wiping out Kody Neagles there. That was awfully close. At least from the angle I had, looking straight on down the front straightaway. But regardless, another playoff driver with some issues, or excuse me, a non-playoff driver with some issues, a couple of them. Richard Sanchez, he was having a great night too. That's a tough break. And for the 510, who was really having a stellar run tonight, and that's gonna hamper him quite a bit, I do believe.
All right, so I think this will be our first attempt at a green-white checkered. We will use 2 attempts total, and this will be our first one. So here we go.
Now first to 2, excuse me, not 3. I'm confusing the rules. But you know what else is new with me on a Monday night? It'll be the first to 2. Obviously, this first one is just going to be pretty straightforward. If a caution comes out, we'll re-rack, restack, do it again. The second one, though, is where things get tricky. If a caution comes out before the white flag, the race will be determined by moment of caution. We've seen it happen. We saw it happen earlier in the season at iRacing Super Speedway. I believe it's the only time we've seen a second green-white checkered end under caution. That's when Josh Milam got the victory by the narrowest of margins in that race, if I remember right. It was right after the restart, so certainly something to consider for these guys running up front.
All right, so our championship contenders, Sebastian Marin dropped out on lap 24, an early exit for him, power issues, blown motor, whatever you want to say it, but he was up front when it happened. So everyone else saying, hey, good news, a lead pack driver out of this one, that means I got a shot now. But since then, it has been nothing but trouble for our championship contenders. And almost all of them have burned a fast repair. So you know, Dawson, as we go into this first attempt at a green-white checkered, they are all starting to sweat bullets.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure several of them have been sweating bullets for a while. I mean, for what it's worth, Kody Neagles used his fast repair on lap 5. And he's been on a single truck since that point. So several of these guys have been sweating bullets for, you know, half the race or longer. You know, some have just started, but some they have been sweating for, you know, about an hour and a half or so at this point.
All right, Dawson, here we go. Lights are out on the Silverado. Field is stacked up side by side. Yeah. It's past my bedtime. I hope we don't have another one of these green, white checkered attempts. I don't know if I could get through it.
It's certainly starting to drag a little bit. Our 11th caution of the night was our previous one right there. So hopefully these guys at least get around to the white flag. Once they get to the white flag, they're free to wreck as much or as little as they want to, just as long as they get to the white flag first. That way they don't have to re-wreck. These guys don't want to do it either. Just to be fair, they'd like to go ahead and finish this up right here. None would want to finish it up more than Kevin Freis, who I think has led the past 20 laps just by virtue of being under the yellow flag. He certainly would like to wrap this one up and go to victory lane. Hopefully not have any issues. Here's the problem. He's got playoff drivers lined up in the outside row about 6 rows deep behind him. So those guys are not going without a fight right here, I don't think.
No one's going to give up without a fight, including the non-playoff drivers. They want to get these race wins just to kind of spite our championship contenders. But here we go. And guys, I'll tell you what, if you're enjoying the show that the drivers are putting on, make sure you hit the thumbs up. I'm going to be honest, drivers have egos. You have to feed the ego. Hit that thumbs up for them. They appreciate it. But pace truck down and away. Kevin Freis, Matt Wagner, once again, side by side. Green flag is in the air now. Wow, timing was awful there.
The timing was great for Kevin Freis, who just runs away on the race start. Him and Steve Korosec. That's the best race start anybody's gotten all night. But the outside line's going to have all the momentum in their court here as Kacey Gilchrist gets up as well. Zach Fritsch tried, couldn't. They stack up a little bit now. There's got to be somewhere for them to go. It's going to be 3 wide. Who goes first? Adam Kilday, but nobody goes with him down the backstretch. All by his lonesome goes the 85. Now a truck goes with him. I believe it's Kody Neagles in the 6. They're going to need more help if they want to get it. Down the backstretch, though, Kevin Freis clears for the lead. He's still out front, but he's got Korosec all over his back bumper. Coming back out of turn number 4, 2 wide for the race lead. Wagner gets a push from the 2 of Nate Warren. Who jumps out? It's Gilchrist that goes first. Now he's back in line. English looking out of line. Lots of guys going to need to figure out what they're going to do. We're going to settle it right here. White flag from Talladega. 1 lap to go.
Final time around the 25 of Kevin Freis, going to lead going into turn number 1. But Matt Wagner in the 11, looking for his first win here on Monday night. Nate Warren, last week's race winner, trying to go 2 in a row. Can they make it happen down the backstretch, Dawson?
Sean Makara goes out to the outside. That's going to stall the middle. Contact between Freis and Makara. Makara still getting a nice push from English. He clears down in front of the 25. Matt Wagner back to the bottom. Makara trying to get the run. Now Freis is pushing him. He's locked in. English up against the outside wall. It's 3 by 3 all the way down to the trioval for the final time.
Anthony English in the 3rd lane. Can he make something happen? Right now, Sean Makara has the race lead. Can Makara hold on to it? He cannot. The 44 of Anthony English is going to pick up the win here tonight.
What a race. What a finish. Anthony English makes the right moves the right time and is the first man to lock into the 2nd round of the postseason. What a night for the 44. Makara, man, that stings, the 71. That's got to be a tough way to lose tonight's race. But Anthony English gets the job done. He's locked in. He doesn't even have to worry about next week as long as he starts the race.
So the 44 picks up the race win here tonight and gets a celebration kiss on the rear from Sean Makara. Sean's into that, so we won't talk too much about it. But the 44 of Anthony English got in by virtue of Logan Helton stepping to the side, and now he has punched his ticket into this round of 12. Lights up the tires in celebration. Dawson, let's say we get this post-race show underway, and let's pull up our race winner That is the 44 of Anthony English just as soon as I got him. Anthony, got your ears on, bud?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, I'll tell you what, the 44 came in on luck because Logan Helton stepped away. But now you will enter the championship 12 on merit. How's this feel to win the race here tonight?
Oh man, absolutely ecstatic. Like I'm still semi-speechless and everything. I mean, I was just trying to be patient, and I seen Kacey, Makara go up, so I followed him, and he cleared, and I owe it all to Mark at that point. Mark pushed the living daylights out of me, and I don't know how he won it, but wow.
Well, man, I'll tell you what, coming into the second race here in Championship 16, you had a bit of a buffer because your first race went very well, but now your second one, you find yourself in victory lane. Do you think this 14 is getting hot at the right time? Or I'm sorry, the 44 is getting hot at the right time.
Best time ever to get hot is in the playoffs, right? I mean, I had a good run last week. I just wanted to stay solid the first race. And then this race, I messed up pit stops before that first stage. So I was kind of down on myself at the beginning. And I was just going for it, just trying to rack up as many points as I can, because you're never safe, honest to God. I mean, you could go in 18 points above and have a terrible night and still end up below the cut. So you got to go out there and give it everything almost the whole time. And so I'm just thankful I got some stage points. I was thankful for that, but the win just seals it up. So it's nice being locked in for the 12. Let's get it.
All right, man. Nice job. Shout outs, thank yous. Anything else you need to add?
First and foremost, big shout out to Logan Helton. I know I shouldn't really be in the playoffs technically. He made the spot, but he dropped out. Thankfully, he did good in his race, and he's going on the contender series. But in honor, I used his scheme to thank him for pretty much dropping. It got me in and everything, and it's awesome. I feel awesome here running his scheme, putting in victory lane for him, and big shout out to Mark Mann for the push there. Without that push, when they got it done, rest of my team at Vendetta, you guys do your best to help us all out, and we try what we can. And you guys up in the booth, you guys do great all the time. Both of you tonight, right? Yeah. But you guys and everybody watching, families, friends, my beautiful girlfriend sitting on the couch. We're both sick, so this is a bright side of a day for sure. It's awesome.
All right, Anthony. Well, nice job, man. Once again, congratulations on the race win, and we will see you in the round of 12 here later on.
Thank you, KR.
Anthony English, driver of the 44, sitting tall and pretty on top of the podium as he picks up the race win here in race number 2 in Championship 16. But now it's time to move on to the driver who finished in second place, and that is the 04 Mark Mann. And Dawson, you've caught up with Mark Mann, who's fresh from Hawaii.
Yeah, I have. Hey, Mark, it's the boys up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Well, you come home second tonight. It was a really stellar night for you all around. You're up front quite a bit. Thought you had a look at the win right there. It almost fell your way. You come up one spot short, but nonetheless, a really stellar run for you. How you feeling?
Oh, I'm happy with second. I'm glad Anthony got the win there. Jim was making a move up, and he's my teammate, and I couldn't get hooked up with him, so it was just Anthony in front of me, and I was waiting for him to make the move, and he actually timed it perfectly. I would have went a little earlier and then probably would have lost, but he timed that move just right, and I just kind of stayed glued, and I didn't lift, and thankfully I didn't turn them, because these trucks, for some reason, there's some turning going on tonight. But yeah, I'm happy with second place, fresh off vacation, so it was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're moving through the playoffs here. Obviously, Anthony gets the victory as a playoff guy right there. What's the mindset for a guy that maybe is not in the Championship 16, going out there every single week? What goes through your guys' heads, on a late race restart like that when you're lined up with a bunch of playoff guys around you there?
Well, right there, I was kind of looking around for an ally or somebody I could help, and Anthony was in front of me on that restart. So, well, he was in my outside lane. So I picked out him or Crosby Jr., but Crosby got stuck on the bottom there for a second, and Anthony was on the top. So I decided I'll try to help Anthony the best I could. Hopefully, I was hoping that, you know, he was just going to get a good finish, but he ended up winning the race. So that was a double bonus. And I was looking for James Maier there. Just got hung up in traffic a little bit, and that's kind of the way it works. I mean, when you're not a playoff guy, you know, you kind of want to try to win every week, but, you know, that's not possible. So kind of look for some allies out there. You know, I'm still going to work with Jimmy and Jim and see how the rest of the season plays out. I wouldn't mind seeing Anthony have a deep run here. So, I mean, there's some guys with P's by their names I wouldn't mind helping through this playoff stretch.
Oh, absolutely. And tonight you give Anthony the push he needs to go to victory lane, and you come home second. So while we have you here for a second, any shout-outs, thank yous you want to give for the second place effort tonight?
Sure, yeah, man. Thanks to you guys for broadcasting, everybody, all the OP admins, everybody watching at home. Butt Kicker, our premier sponsor, thank you very much. Mara, she's probably sleeping by now, probably still has jet lag. Yeah, everybody watching, and congratulations, Anthony.
All right, well, congrats on that second place finish. Oh, well, all right. Okay, steal my thunder here. Okay.
We're not done just yet.
All right.
What do you mean Mara has jet lag?
Dude,
How do you know she has jet lag?
Well, she was with me in Hawaii, bro. What? Oh, boy. In Las Vegas first, and then Hawaii. So we were gone for 2 weeks. And we didn't kill each other, so that was good. And she held my hand on the airplane when I got scared. Well, she was coaxing me through some of the turbulence because I absolutely hate flying.
You should be used to turbulence by now, Mark.
Oh yeah. My life's been
anything else you want to say about this trip?
Nah, man, it was fun. It was paradise every day. Now back to reality.
So you don't want to say something, or you can't.
I have nothing to say, bro. I had a great trip. Mara and I had fun. She's still single, you know. So there's some dudes out there in chat land. You know what I'm saying?
All right. All right, Mark. Thank you very much, man. And congrats on second place.
All right, thanks.
All right, Dawson. There's a bet going on about things with Mark and Mara. Trying to get it out of me.
Okay.
Didn't happen. All right, either way, we still got one more driver to talk to, and that is none other than the 71 of Sean Makara. Sean, you got your ears on, bud?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine. Hey, this 71 brought it home in third place here tonight, but at one point, I don't think you had all four tires on the ground. Tell us a little bit about your race.
Yeah, I had a real tough wreck at one point in the race. I forget exactly what happened there, but I remember I towed, and I spent a good portion of the race 2 laps down. I was already talking to my own chat about probably needing a must-win next week, and then managed to get back on the lead lap. Obviously, a bevy of cautions tonight kind of helped out with that. And well, I'm not sure exactly how points will shake out. I know stages didn't go too well, but the third place will help out quite a bit.
Well, man, nice job on bringing it home in third place. I do know you came into tonight's race 5 points below the cut line. And since I do quick math and not good math, I think you're going to end above the cut line to start the race next week.
Yes, I would hope third would at least make some good progress, if not be above. But I was definitely trying to get that win at the end and not even have to worry about it next week.
All right, man. Well, any shout outs, thank yous that you need to add for this third and final step of the podium here tonight?
Definitely thanks to my teammates as always. All the guys at Flat Out, Kacey, Richard, Jeff Sr. and Nate. They always do a good job helping out. We had a real good regular season. Playoffs have been a bit more of a struggle so far, but hopefully we can get at least a couple cars into the next round. So I know we got 4 going right now, and yeah, other than that, just looking forward to next week.
All right, man. Well, nice job on this 3rd place finish, Sean. And man, I'll tell you what, I'm going to call it now. You advance next week.
Yeah, that would be nice. Don't even make the playoffs often. I'd love to stay in it longer. It's definitely fun.
All right, well, there you have it. I have called Sean Makara's shot. The 71 advances into the round of 12. Place your bets now, ladies and gentlemen. But Sean, thank you very much, man. Congratulations on 3rd place.
Yeah, thank you for broadcasting as always.
All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Sean Makara, driver of the 71, our 3rd and final step of the podium. Let's go ahead and go through our race results real quick before we let Dawson sign us off. Anthony English, Markman, Sean Makara, we talked to our podium finishing drivers, but Kevin Freis and Steve Korosec round out the top 5.
I'll be honest with you, KR. I all the results up on my end right now. It's technical difficulties after the checkered flag, we'll call it. So
cool.
If you could
I'll carry us through.
Yeah, we love technology over here, I'll tell you what.
Sometimes you just got to hit your head on the monitor. Zach Fritsch.
I tried that. That didn't work. Tried that method already. Not successful.
All right, Kacey Gilchrist brought it home in 6th. 7th goes to Matt Wagner. Gabe Butler in 8th. 9th goes to Jim Maier. Nate Warren in 10th. 11th, Kody Neagles. 12th, Jeff Crosby Jr. Adam Kilday 13th. 14th goes to Zach Fritsch. Sean Stevens 15th. 16th, Peter deBorja in the 40. Brian Wang in the 05 17th. 18th place going to Vicente Guerrero in the 14. 19th, Zach Workman. Richard Sanchez 21st goes to Les Levy. David Booth 22nd. 23rd, Dave Hunt. Jimmy Reynolds 24th. 25th goes to Jeff Crosby Sr. Eric Lurie 26th. 27th, David Overstreet. Richard Kuhn 28th. 29th, Sebastian Marin. And John Guerrero in 30th. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us here tonight. Dawson, this one is in the books. One more race in the Championship 16. Only 12 drivers will advance.
Yeah, only one race to go. We're going to see who's going to get eliminated next week. Our field goes from 16 to 12. I can't wait. If tonight was any indication, next week it's going to be about 10 times as intense. You'll want to tune back in if you watch tonight. It's only going to get better from here.
All right, so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Hope you all enjoyed the show. And if you're still here, well, now you can go to bed. So until then, until next week, y'all have a good night, and we will see you next time.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.